So I was scrolling and I literally only stopped because I'm like, damn, this is hot. And that's creepy because she's 15. Time to go to prison.
It's Chris Hansen.
I'm a banana!
And this is what my diaper looks like.
There's a YouTuber who has recently fell into the annals of myth. People even questioning if he existed in the first place. Was this person ever real? Did he upload a single piece of content onto the website? Or was he a collective hallucination? All in their head, if you will. And I'd like to first say I'm taking a huge risk even making this video in the first place because this YouTuber has actually been known to copyright strike content talking or criticizing him in any way possible.
Posted yesterday has been taken down and I can't get it back up.
Of course, I'm talking about none other. The man, the myth, the legend, Onision, who you might know him as I'm a Banana, where he dressed up as a banana. Onision is an old head. He is in the YouTube retirement home. He was probably making content before most of you were even born. Just to put into comparison here, my oldest video on my original channel, PyroLive, is How to Pizza. A hilarious, laugh out loud, family-friendly experience where I made a parody that is still hilarious, by the way, of Breaking Bad. Skylar would actually say that. Skylar would definitely say that in Breaking Bad. 1v1 me pizzas. Oh, Jesus. This was humor 10 years ago. God. You know what? I welcome Skibbity Toilet with open arms. Meanwhile, if you look at Onision's channel, his oldest video is from 17 years ago. Oh my God. But it's basically him doing like a Darth Vader voice changer thing.
This is an example of what the Darth Vader helmet will sound like when
I like how those Darth Vader helmets were just always trash. You could always hear your original voice over the actual helmet. Now, it's very hard to explain how older YouTubers still create content if they don't have some kind of like Fortnite skin or Fortnite collab. If I wanted to list everything that has happened with Onision, this would be like an 8-hour documentary. You know the meme of SpongeBob where he's like pulling out the scroll of all the words? That would probably be the script for the Onision video. He's done content of body shaming people.
you are so fat, there's like probably like 3,000 dead animal fragments inside your body just floating around.
Problematic relationships, places of revenue getting demonetized, and even getting a knock on the door from everyone's favorite children's entertainer, Chris Hansen.
Do we know his name at all?
It's Chris Hansen.
The thing about Onision, and this can be applied to pretty much like all YouTubers, we are like cockroaches.
Oh my fucking God!
If you step on us, if you cut off our limbs, we somehow just keep crawling.
We keep crawling towards the computer to hit upload on the video. Oh my God, I need to upload this script right now, this video. I need to do a 10-minute video about...
I don't know what's even happening right now, man. What did Critical upload yesterday? I gotta check. He uploaded a video called Ticket Prices Make Me Mad. Is his house getting repossessed or something? What's happening? Like, why is all the furniture gone? Did he have like an unpaid tax bill? You know, I'll be honest with him. He's too busy looking in front of the camera recording videos, so he's probably got someone that's going in there stealing his furniture slowly. He doesn't even notice. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is we are like cockroaches. It is a very rare case to see a YouTuber get run off the platform. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will criticize how many channels I have. I've got the main channel, PyroLive. I've got PyroLive that's uploading videos. I'm uploading MP4s onto the internet. You've also got the PyroLive TV channel, which is basically just regurgitated live stream highlights because I don't like copyright claims. And also, how the hell is Asmongold making over $1 million a month by basically watching a video and raising his eyebrows sometimes? I want in on that pie, okay? Is that too much to ask? Asmongold, when he sees a nuclear bomb being dropped onto the United States of America from Russia, killing millions of people instantly. Well, sure. Wow, sure. Now, Onision somehow has me beat. Jesus. This guy has a lot of sub-channels. He obviously has Onision, and then he has Onision Speaks, Onision Encore, another channel called Uh-Oh Bro. There are so many channels. I feel like my channels are based around Onision a lot. I have a commentary channel. That's this channel. I have a reaction channel as well. What? But one thing you'll notice is a lot of these channels have been either renamed or just flat out terminated. It is really weird how that early, like 2012 era of YouTube, so many of the creators look the same. I mean, you could have side-by-side pictures of Shane Dawson and Onision, and they basically look like cousins. Now, before jumping into Onision's very heavy past, it is important to clarify there will be different names which may not match older documents. For example, Onision, when he was born, his birth name was Greg. I'm sure no association to world-famous celebrity Logan Paul's father, Greg Paul, who still currently holds the #1 world record for the blind kissing competition. But Greg... I don't know why the name Greg. It's not even because it's associated with Onision. It's just the name Greg. It's like, you know the whole meme, my name Jeff? It's like my name Greg. My name... The brain rot. It's in my brain. It's in my brain. Kill me now, please, please. Onision changed his name from Greg to James Jackson, which is why you'll see that name mentioned a lot in the court documents I'll be talking about later. All right, so you got Onision, you got Greg, you got James, Onion, Onision, Onion. Remember all those names, it is quite important. Now, Onision began his climb to Mount Olympus to be the biggest YouTuber all the way back in 2006. Just to put in perspective how long ago that was the same year The Departed came out, one of the best films of all time. And the entire film is set in Boston, so like they all talk like this, like Matt Damon, he has like a Boston accent.
Shoot a cop, Einstein. Watch what happens.
2006 is also the same year that Idiocracy came out, a film that is a satire talking about how intelligent people basically died off and the entire planet is replaced by stupid people because on average, stupid people apparently have more kids and breed more. By the way, I've seen so many people online that are preaching this film as like, oh my god, it's actually happening, like Idiocracy in real life. I want to give this award to you. I'm gonna... I don't know what else to say, man. Like, come on. I'd like to point out as well, 2006 was the year we got goated games like Hitman Blood Money. Slowly over the horizon, you could see a man in a wheelchair. Or as I like to call it the game, you mildly inconvenience people and they flatline instantly. Like in one mission, you could push a woman into a 2-foot-high pool and she'll drown instantly.
Target eliminated. Well done, Fortis.
That was also the same year that we got Wii Sports, which basically taught everyone in the world, yes, you are fat. It was also the same year that we got Bully from Rockstar. Rockstar, please. Please make a sequel. Please make a sequel. Also, yes, I am going to do a Bully main channel video at some point, okay? It's a very good game. I get it. I get it. And it was also the same year that we got the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Farewell.
May you rest in peace.
Which had none other than Patrick Stewart playing the king, an amazing performance, only to get backstabbed 3 minutes into the game. I'd like to say, thankfully, that Patrick Stewart went on to have an amazing acting career. Recently, I watched him in The Green Room, where he played a very friendly owner of a bar. Smarter than you. But yeah, enough glazing about the year 2006. Times were easier. We didn't even have Vine back then. Now, Onision was such an old head that he was actually uploading onto other websites as well. But for the sake of simplicity, we're going to talk about when he actually started uploading onto YouTube. Now, he would eventually commit to posting content around 2007. Again, I'm not really sure if this was the first video ever, since he tends to delete stuff a lot. I mean, I'll be honest as well. My videos that you see, the oldest video, How to Pizza, there were videos before that. There were really cringe, embarrassing Minecraft Let's Plays that I did that even back then I realized was so embarrassing, I quickly deleted all of them from the internet as quick as possible. However, he would not create the magnum opus and his most famous video, I'm a banana. That wouldn't come out until 2009. Now, from there, Onision would start to make more kind of extravagant content. Now, I get it, right? That era of YouTube, it was very weird. It was the Wild West. I say that the era that I grew up in was the Wild West. Back then, it was even worse. I mean, you had like, what'd you have? Potter, Puppet Pals, PewDiePie playing Amnesia. Now, to be fair, I will give Onision some credit. He does predate PewDiePie. But back then, one thing that was incredibly popular was skit characters. There is nothing more hilarious, laugh out loud funny, than you playing multiple characters, usually by just switching your shirt. So I'm now playing a completely different character. That's called comedy. Now, one thing Onision would do is a series called 10 Things I Hate About Blank, which was, if you think about it, it kind of prefaced the whole era right now of the X situation is crazy. This is where Onision would have certain characters, like, for example, these are real, by the way, Emo Charlie, Rod Danger, and Chibi, which apparently was a parody of Fred Figglehorn. If you don't know who Fred Figglehorn is, I know it sounds like a 1920s character you'd probably meet in a Red Dead 2 RP server. Fred Figglehorn is the, Hey, it's Fred! I just swallowed a tonsil stone doing that. I actually took a look at Fred's channel. The guy that created the Fred character is called Lucas, who played Fred, but it's pretty obvious scrolling through his channel. He actually sold the Fred channel to some company a long time ago. It's been redundant for about 6 years now, but I scrolled down a little bit. Who's that? Fred Games in your face? Is that best friend of the channel, Jake Paul? Anyway, back to Mr. Onion. Oh god, that was whiplash. Jesus. Now, one of the first controversies he got involved in was making a series of videos where he was basically getting in fans to send pictures of their bodies for him to do a review. I'm not actually going to show the images of the people that Onision is critiquing. I'll just censor it or blur it out. Firstly, because some of these people could be underage, and secondly, the intense shame and guilt of being criticized by Onision. I think that's enough. I don't really need to show the images of what he's talking about. And a lot of the terms he was using here were just completely unhinged. Like, there's this one clip where he's talking about someone that's overweight, saying like, you're fat, you need to be a vegetarian or maybe a vegan.
You need to go on a diet, like now. And I know that might sound upsetting, but it's true. Muffin topping is not a sign of health. So I suggest vegetarianism, and if you're already a vegetarian, then I suggest veganism. My guess is you're a meat eater. You got a bunch of former dead animals just hanging around your waistline there.
Because it's really obvious, like right here, you've just got like a bunch of like dead animals just like hanging around your gut. Now, he did claim that he was doing this basically as a form of self-therapy because he was dealing and struggling with his own body issues as well. There was actually one comment I managed to pull because most of these videos are re-uploads. This is so insane. Being a minor during this era, I can guarantee 99% of these girls are minors with eating disorders and mental health problems. Awareness was not a thing back then. So during the earlier days of his channel, Onision was married to a woman called Skye, who you can quite literally see in the pinnacle of absolute, you know the bit with Martin Scorsese where he puts his hands up and he goes, absolute cinema. But yeah, she basically makes an appearance in that video and later became Onision's wife. However, unfortunately, it didn't last and they did end up separating in 2010/2011. Now, the divorce was announced and Onision basically made a statement saying that they ended amicably and also wanted his fan base to support Skye. Now, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to be a devil's advocate for Onision, which I never thought I'd be doing in my entire career. But one thing I do have to say is separating with someone publicly online when you are some kind of like e-celeb or even like actual celebrities, it can be very difficult because you get a lot of people that look into your personal life and they just want to see the reasons behind it. You really do have no privacy. So usually what happens, I mean, for example, in the YouTuber space, when two partners break up, there are usually 3 outcomes. The breakup quietly happens and nothing is publicly posted about it. The breakup will happen and someone will make a post about it. Obviously, you know, all of these will usually use similar wording. Like, for example, you know, we chose to end it amicably and, you know, please don't harass like the other person. Or the third one, which is the scary one, is when they say that they ended it amicably, but secretly behind the scenes, they absolutely despise each other. Now, this tone of Onision supporting Skye despite their separation changed very quickly because Onision actually uploaded a video showing all the things that Skye had taken from his home. Now, I do have to give a disclaimer because the footage I'm about to show you is a re-upload that is compressed, and on top of that as well, the clip itself is originally from 13 years ago. So the entire thing, as serious as it is, basically looks like it was filmed on a BlackBerry. He then went on to make comments about the amount of alimony that he pays her after the divorce settlement.
If my ex-wife is mad at that, well, she should have thought about that before she lied on her divorce papers and pushed me into a corner where I find myself paying alimony for 6 years of my life, despite the fact that our marriage didn't even last that long.
And then by 2017, he's making these kinds of statements. As in, James, Onision would apparently disappear after the alimony payments would end, which was in 2017. However, it does not stop there. The rabbit hole only goes deeper. Now, while he was in the process of divorcing Skye, Onision then fell into another relationship and started dating another girl. That was Shiloh, who is actually so famous, she has her own Wikipedia page. I don't even have my own Wikipedia page. Now, it's important to note, at the beginning of their relationship, James was 25 and Shiloh was 17. Unlucky. Now, their relationship was quite notable because it was, to put it bluntly, very, very unstable. And also the fact that Onision made multiple videos on her at that time. This is a very common trend. Onision tends to make videos on partners that he's been with. And again, I don't mean to be devil's advocate for Onision, dear God. I never thought I would have to take this responsibility. I feel like Atlas holding the weight of the earth on my shoulders. Or that Sisyphus guy who's like, you know, pushing the boulder up the hill. But I understand that with relationships, there are dynamics, right? You know, you'll have someone that is being abusive to someone on camera, and the other partner could be just as abusive. I'm not saying that this is the situation with Onision, but usually relationships, when one side seems to be like more abusive than the other, and that has been publicized, that's been put out there publicly, there's usually more nuance to it than that. I'm not at all saying, by the way, like if some video gets posted of a guy, you know, just like beating down on his girlfriend or something, it's like, wait. The girlfriend could be a bad person as well. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's always important to obviously support victims, but at the same time, wait until all of the answers actually come out. Now, from Shiloh's own account, there were multiple videos taken, like for example, her in the shower, apparently filming her as well when she was having a seizure, and even when he allegedly was shaving her head.
There was a point when he shaved your head?
Yes. At first, we did a joke video, and I acted like they shaved my head while I was sleeping. I clearly wasn't sleeping. I slumped out of the car, but I wanted to look like Skrillex, so we went to go shave half of it, and we made it a joke video with Nathan Barnett at the time.
There's even a video where he says, in the background, you can hear him saying, no one will see this video. And also, and I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read the transcript here. Know how much I abuse you.
Greg and I decided that this year we'd go for realism, so he took the scissors to my ear in my sleep, and now I'm bleeding. It hurts a lot, actually.
You know this video's never going to be online, right? No one will ever know how much I abuse you. It's ridiculous that you think you'll be successful. How many times do I have to tell you everything that you want to put online goes through me first?
Now, this could be like a 300 billion layered irony joke. You know, you make a joke that's actually so messed up that it goes into like post-irony. But even then, it's still very much unhinged. I don't think that is a bad take. Now, this was a very toxic relationship from the beginning. They would have multiple breakups and then end up getting back together again. Even at one point, unfortunately, having a miscarriage. And then James would eventually, in 2012, post a video basically saying that they are breaking up for good. Now, at this point, Onision was a monolith on YouTube. If you look back at these older videos, he was getting millions of views. For current YouTube, that's like... It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But back then, because there were less people using the website, let's do some inflation. Okay, I shouldn't say that word. Let's do some numbers, right? Okay. So 1 million views in YouTube, like 2012, that would probably now be around 5 million views. And again, this is someone who is consistently getting like close to, if not over, 1 million views a video. The point I'm trying to make is Shiloh's fan base was dwarfed by Onision. So basically, she had to quit the internet and delete all of her socials because she was portrayed to be the bad guy in the situation. Or the bad woman, I guess. Obviously, I don't need to get into detail how rabid some YouTubers' fan bases can be. You can put as many disclaimers as you want saying, don't harass anyone in the video. Don't do it. Oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world. But people will still do it anyway. But Shiloh would actually appear later on in support of another troubled relationship that Onision got into. We will get into that later. So not too long after his relationship with Shiloh, Onision would meet his spouse, Lucas, who was previously referred by his other channels, LaneyBot and Cool Guy Kai. I mean, they're not the coolest YouTube channel names, but again, pyrocynical. Come on. By the way, if any of you want to know where the words pyrocynical came from, I'm pretty sure it was the pyro from Team Fortress 2. Okay. It kind of all makes sense now. And then the word cynical, I'm not actually sure where that came from. I think it just kind of like rolled off the tongue pretty well.
Oh my God, he's like a pyro in TF2 and he's cynical.
Isn't that like every single YouTuber nowadays? It's like, oh guys, I'm so jaded. Oh my God. Whoa. So just for context as well, Kai is a trans man. That was in the earlier days of their relationship and also pre-transition for Kai, because Kai is a trans man. I will be honest, and I do not mean this in an offensive way. Like, I was looking at like entries online talking about Kai and I was like, I don't even know like what pronouns to say here because I don't want to get cancelled. Now, the two apparently met because Lucas was a fan of Onision's content, and they got married in 2012 when Lucas was around 17 or 18 years old. And then something amazing happened, something glorious. We had baby Onision, a child with Onision's DNA, was born into the world in the glorious year of our Lord, 2014, which also, by the way, is the same year where montage parodies were first starting to gain relevancy. That's basically when I started to come onto the internet and do those like unfunny montage parody videos. It was a time. It was definitely it was a time that existed on the internet. Shortly after, though, Lucas would actually delete the pictures of their child because people on the internet are very weird. I will say this, to be fair, posting images of like your own child online, that is always a huge risk. I mean, there are some people that can deal with it well. Like, for example, PewDiePie, he's got like a kid and stuff now. He's like living his life in Japan. He's including his child, Bjorn, in his vlogs with his wife, Marzia. But on a real note, like the 3 people watching this channel that do actually have children, always just step back and think if it's a good idea to actually post them online, especially if you have any kind of platform or you're any kind of creator, because it is dangerous. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail here, but there's a really morbid story that came out recently of a man that was jailed over basically AI generated images of children. Like, unfortunately, if you put yourself or pictures of other people online, you really have no idea what freaks are going to do with that. Another update as well is around 2015 to 2016, Onision came out saying he was bisexual and genderqueer, which is basically every Minecraft YouTuber. Am I right? I got him. I want to put a disclaimer. The joke was people are now being more open about their gender identity. I am not comparing Minecraft YouTubers to Onision. Dear God, I do not want that comparison. But one thing that was interesting is Onision was apparently allowing Lucas to explore his sexuality by dating other women in their marriage. Now, this is where the family tree spreads off into many chapters, many variables, many seasons. Like the boys, there's a lot of seasons there. And then you got Gen V, and then you got that cartoon spin-off. There's too much here. What's going on? So with Lucas exploring his sexuality like a fluttering little butterfly, he brought 2 other people into the relationship. That was Billy and Sarah. So in 2015, Billy and Lucas would apparently often interact with each other, leading to them allegedly dating in 2016. But here, oh God, this is where it gets difficult. Okay, so this is when Lucas shares that it was actually James's idea for Lucas to date Billy, and Lucas ran with it. So essentially, Billy would basically visit the couple, and some of these trips ended on pretty bad terms. One of these most notable instances was something dubbed Cuddlegate. We're just going to put the word gate on anything at this point, aren't we, really? It's Cuddlegate. That sounds like a TumblrCon thing, I'll be honest. Now, Cuddlegate, I thought it'd be something like this, you know, where like you kind of hug yourself, something like that. Apparently it wasn't that. It was when Greg was caught cuddling Billy without Lucas's knowledge. And this caused Lucas and James to separate for a bit due to James falling in love with Billy after the Cuddlegate.
After a little while of playing video games downstairs with Lainey's girlfriend, we decided to watch some movies together. At some point, I texted Lainey saying something incredibly stupid. We were having a conversation, and I said, no, I need affection. And I said, okay, I'm really aroused, and I feel an intensity for cuddling as well. I then asked for permission to cuddle with her girlfriend, and then followed that with, or you can cuddle me, ? As you can imagine, Lainey was very upset by that. Lainey then said she wanted to leave the house, so I began helping her pack. As I was helping Lainey pack, I told Lainey that her girlfriend and I wouldn't do anything that friends wouldn't do together. In other words, we wouldn't kiss, we wouldn't have sex, we wouldn't have oral sex. We just generally wouldn't partake in dating exclusive activities. Later on that night, after I said something so uncomfortable to Lainey, she felt compelled to leave the house. I took it upon myself to cuddle with her girlfriend. I gave her that massage. I took a shower. After I was done taking a shower, she went and took a shower. And the rest of the night, we cuddled and watched movies.
Yep, 10 out of 10 acting there. So yeah, it basically had all the tension of like an EastEnders episode. If you don't know what EastEnders is, because most of you are American, it's like a daily TV program that runs in the UK. I'll be honest, this show is the equivalent of my second channel. It is churning out daily slop. And because they have to put episodes out daily, the quality of writing and the quality of acting is definitely something to be desired.
Junior and I are just friends. You could ruin everything.
And then after the Cuddlegate fallout, they apparently turned into a thropple. A thropple? A thropple? I guess you said the word thropple. I will be honest, I'm going to interject my personal opinion here. I've always had a really hard time understanding open relationships. Like, you know, if that's your thing, if you're into the whole, you know, like polygamy thing, power to you. You know, if it makes your life better, go for it. I'm going to tell this really weird anecdotal story, right? So I was traveling to a country, and there was a guy sat next to me, and I think he was like a surgeon or a doctor or something. He was the nicest guy. He was like an American guy, and I sat next to him. I was talking to him on the whole flight, and then he kept saying like, oh yeah, I'm just flying to see my partner. And the thing is, I don't know whether this is an American thing, but like whenever I hear a man say their partner, I don't know if it's just me, like, you know, being British, but like I always just assume they're gay and they're talking about like their husband or their boyfriend, right? But then I noticed he wasn't saying partner, he was saying partners. And I was like, oh, like, what do you mean? Like, are you doing the whole like polygamy thing? You got like you know, like multiple relationships? And then the guy goes like, yeah, you know, I'm with a woman and I'm with a man as well. And I was like, okay, you know, fair enough. I mean, like, I don't get it, but, you know, power to you. And then I did ask him this question. Like, I didn't mean this in like an offensive way. I did say to him, I was like, okay, so because there's 3 of you, right? Surely, in some capacity, someone has to be missing out. I'm not saying that someone is sat there in the hotel cook chair. Like, I'm not saying that anyone is, like, sitting in the cook chair, right? I'm not saying that. But surely someone in the relationship is missing out. And then the guy just looks at me, a little bit sad, and he's like, yeah, that happens. And I thought to myself, yeah, it's probably... And then, well, no, I'm not going to make that joke. But yeah, that was just like my anecdotal story talking about that. But I'm very sure you definitely cared about my opinion on polygamy. You know, the guy that's 27 still lives at home and walks around all day wearing his own merch. However, Sarah eventually does actually move in with Lucas and James in Washington, mostly due to a family situation back in Michigan. Now, their relationship here gets complicated because, you know, this situation is complicated enough. Sure, I'm going to title the video just at the bottom here, the Onision situation is crazy, but Sarah apparently gets kicked out of the house a couple of times, according to Sarah herself. Sarah's relationship with them then ends eventually in 2019. Now, again, this entire situation here, it could go on for hours. There are loads of things that didn't go over, an apparent NDA as well. For the sake of time, that's basically the spark notes. But if you have learned anything from watching this video, you will know that this drama does not stop there. So at this point, there are a lot of people that are invested in this drama weighing in on their thoughts. There's people like Repzion, Blair White, even beloved child actor Chris Hansen. So all of these people start to cover the situation with Billy and Sarah, especially Chris Hansen. Now, Chris Hansen needs no introduction. Obviously, you probably know him from To Catch a Predator. They would basically do these predator stings, pretend to be children online, a little bit weird, but then that would rope in actual predators. And one thing Chris Hansen did with his team, which was really important, was to work with the police. Because one thing you'll notice recently, there has been a huge influx of predator stings that are happening online, mostly from YouTubers. And the problem is the conviction rate with these YouTubers going after predators is incredibly low because beforehand, they're not working with law enforcement. That's why with To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen, they basically informed the police beforehand so they would work alongside them to show that there was actual proof. And Chris Hansen was actually one of the people to platform Shiloh, one of Onision's previous partners. So around this time, and this is where things get really weird, Onision apparently doxes Billy's personal information on his Patreon. There are so many YouTubers that have a Patreon. They could have good Patreons where you get access to, you know, videos that you never could have seen, or the more kind of like conventional stuff like, oh, you get a little roll on Discord. Look at that. Wow. But imagine it's like, oh, I got this guy's home address. Pay $5, you get it. Now, unsurprisingly, posting someone's docs is against Patreon's terms of service. So Patreon quickly took the post down. So in response, Onision posted one of his many infamous mental breakdowns, going into extensive detail how he feels about Patreon's decision. I'm going to put a plot twist on the screen right now. He doesn't like the decision.
What do we do? Oh, well, our opinions have been invalidated so many times of him that we're gonna disable his Patreon. Wow. Wow, you would really do that. You would really do that!
A little bit after that, Chris Hansen tried to get involved in a more direct way. This Onision drama, I know there's been a lot of names, a lot of details I've mentioned that most people have probably never heard about before, but this caused ripples in pretty much the entire internet. I never really followed Onision. I kind of knew he existed, kind of like someone like Shane Dawson or, you know, Hey, It's Fred, but I didn't really consume their content. This was huge because even I remember hearing about it. So we have Chris Hansen, right? You know, he's jogging, doing a little bit of a jog, straight up to Onision's house. And he's also being accompanied by a lawyer, Mike Morse. Can you guess what happens? You have Chris Hansen, right?
Hey, it's Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. I'm gonna... Can I come into your house, please? Can I come into your house? Please open the door. I'm here with my lawyer. He is just a friend I met at the bar. He is not actually my lawyer. It was a simple slip of the tongue. I would like you to open the door and then possibly take a seat right over there.
So unsurprisingly, after this, Onision immediately tried to sue not only Chris Hansen, but Repzion as well. And to make this even better, right, when he served out the papers for the lawsuit, apparently he served them to the wrong... They were served to the wrong Chris Hansen. So it wasn't even Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator. It was just this poor random guy that was like not involved in this at all, catching strays. And this is, of course, when the viral images emerged of Onision going to trial. One amazing image was him in the elevator, basically looking like a Saints Row character right before a cutscene. And then there was another image as well of his back to the camera wearing Adidas trainers, which was then turned into a meme where he got shrunk down. You could see like this weird kind of like pull on the back of his shirt as well. People thought he was wearing a bulletproof vest, but he was wearing it backwards. But then eventually he did dismiss both of their lawsuits, probably because they have a lot more income, especially Chris Hansen, I assume. And what does any creator do when they want to make a little bit of cash? They could do a Patreon, but Onision had a Patreon. It got taken down. So what do you do now? OF. Now, I can't say the actual word because for some reason, despite like every third person on earth doing it for some reason, you can't actually say the word out loud. I do like the global psy-upping we're having right now, where we're changing our language solely based on algorithms and monetization. No, I can't say someone died. I've got to say they were game ended. But yeah, he started an OF, which is like, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not standing Onision in this house or anything, but like, after seeing the earnings of some creators, holy Jesus. Like, you're telling me, right, I have to get up 3 p.m. every day. I do videos just wearing my shorts and wearing merch all day. I record in front of this for an hour a day, and I make a fraction of someone spreading their butt cheeks towards the camera. God, you know what? YouTubers, we have it so hard. We need to start a union, guys. They don't get it. All the people mocking us, saying that we get up late to record videos and we just pass it along to an editor. No, you don't get it. It's very hard to look into a camera and speak. And shortly after that, Chris Hansen released a year later a documentary called Onision in Real Life. I don't know why. The first thing I thought of is like Minecraft in real life.
Oh! I hate real life!
Now, that was put out into the public, and shortly after, I'm not sure if there was any correlation with the Chris Hansen documentary, Onision was removed from YouTube's partner program. Did monetization stop Onision? Hell no. If Logan Paul can show a body in the forest and then the next video after tase a dead rat and then get his monetization disabled, and then when he gets asked about it at the airport, how he still makes money, flexes his merch, by the way.
Just wondering, what are you doing for money, seeing as your main like cash cow now you can't work for? What is it? Clothing. That's good, man. I'm happy for you, bro.
If Logan Paul can do all that and still have a career, Onision is fine. He came back and he released a 4-part saga on his side of the Sarah situation. He even goes as far to claim that Sarah basically R-worded him and destroyed his life. And that's it. That's the... There's more? There's more? Oh my God. So afterwards, the Jacksons, that is James and Lucas, a couple lawsuits were thrown at them in 2023. One coming from Regina, another alleged victim, and another one coming from Sarah. For context, by the way, because I know there have been so many names and this plot has been so difficult to follow, Regina was also in the picture around the same time that Sarah was introduced. Currently, at the time of recording this video, the Sarah lawsuit is actually still ongoing, but there was actually a court appearance back in September regarding the matter. Now, in this court hearing, there weren't really many funny pictures. You can find a full video posted on Repsion's channel, but honestly, it is very bizarre to see Onision dressed up in a suit. He looks quite presentable. I mean, I'll be honest, the first thing that I thought of when I saw him was the Joker. Not like a good Joker, like Heath Ledger Joker or like Mark Hamill Joker. No, I was thinking more of like Jerome or like Jeremiah from the Gotham TV series.
How long have you been pretending to be brain dead?
How long have you been pretending? That's a joke.
So around the same time of this court hearing, Onision tried to break back into the internet with TikTok. Now, I'm not sure why you would try to break back into the internet through TikTok, because that is one of the hardest platforms in the world to grow. If you're not basically blowing up some kind of factory in the first 3 seconds, people are going to scroll away. Now, at the time of recording, he has not one, but 3 different TikTok accounts. So he's got Onision Speaks, Onision.net, and Onision.com. All of these have like a couple thousand followers. I mean, to be fair, like I said, TikTok is one of the hardest platforms to grow on. I think at the time of recording, I've only got like 150,000 followers on TikTok, which is the same as having like 100 YouTuber subscribers. Now, unfortunately, as much as I would love to go through this treasure trove, most of the TikToks on the accounts have been deleted. But to be fair, most of these TikToks were basically bits and gags from older videos, which, you know, recycling, all I'm saying, that's what gets you popular. I'm not even doing a bit. Like, if you want to blow up as a content creator, literally just do a stream and then clip it and put it online, because if you get a stream with like 1,000 viewers, you could get a TikTok clip that gets like 1 million views. I've said this time and time again, people like iShowSpeed, Jinxie, Queso, they didn't blow up from their content. They probably never would have been recognized. They blew up from their clips being posted onto TikTok, because again, are you going to really sit there and watch a 6-hour stream? Hell no, you got Fortnite to play, son. But when you die on Fortnite, you'll be scrolling on your phone for a couple minutes. Now, the Onision.com account, it just has one post with 500,000 views. I assume it wasn't pulled because that's okay on TikTok standards for views. And then on Onision Speaks, he posted something like a question for Gen Z, not really much content. But then if you go onto Onision.net, there's still a lot of TikToks. Now, the views here aren't great. They're just like hundreds sometimes, but if you'll notice, all of this is AI. You've even got one image here where he's basically AI transplanted himself as a woman. I'm going through this catalog, right? There's one where he's turned himself into Pennywise from It. Another one where he turned himself into the painter, Vincent van Gogh. Then there's another one where I think he tried to turn himself into Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I am genuinely surprised he has not done one yet where he's turned himself into Patrick Bateman. That would actually be one of the fitting ones. So you may have noticed that Onision's recent endeavor is to pump out AI slop, specifically AI butt songs. Like, I'm not joking, bro. Like when I was uploading daily, I thought I was doing okay. This guy is putting out like multiple videos a day. Some of these AI even include like older characters that he used to do when he was doing skits like over 10 years ago, like Chibi or Emo Charlie. But unfortunately, like I said, these aren't getting a lot of views. I mean, you know, this could have been like a Bart Baker situation. Bart Baker was someone in America who kind of fell off a little bit. And then he moved to China, tapped into a brand new market where he basically just sings over and over, China, I love you all day. The thing is, you might notice with YouTubers is they go through a lot of like transitions. They might try certain content, and if it doesn't work out, they'll probably do something else. But Onision is like, he is okay. One comparison I can think of, this bro. Imagine Excalibur is here, the sword stuck in the stone, right? You give it a little tug like this, right? And like it won't come out, right? A little bit of a tug. You walk away, let the next person try. Onision's been here for like 10 years, still trying to pull that sword out. It is not working. Okay, we need to move on. I just find it crazy that you have YouTubers that will have like good endings or just like catastrophically bad endings. Because again, I know Onision has loads of haters, but this guy is like a YouTube veteran. He's basically been doing content for nearly 20 years. And he went from the heights of I'm a banana to now AI, but okay, I mean, all right, the standards were never that high, all right? I mean, who knows? The internet is wild. Like anything could blow up. Maybe he jumps on like the new Fortnite season and he has a complete resurgence of like summer kids that have no idea of his past. But yeah, what's the moral of today's story? You know, just stick to Facebook. I don't think YouTube is going to work out.